Hi, and welcome back to Dr. Jordan B. Peterson's 12 Rules for Life book club, I guess. Today we have rule number 6. It was a relatively short rule in terms of page length, not in terms of words. Set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. And I found this one, even though it was short, it was pretty interesting because it is kind of like a harder philosophical question, getting yourself in order. And he talks a lot about meaning and finding that in life and not trying to be cynical. We can actually start with page 148 with, I believe his name is Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Maybe that's how you pronounce it. And his character Mephistopheles. He's essentially Satan or the devil. And he writes down Mephistopheles' quote, and he uses a second time in his next play. And basically, he's there to negate everything. You know, nothing is truly deserved in this world, and it needs to become negated. It needs to become crashing down. It needs to have a counterbalance. And Peterson wraps it up with the Columbine shooters or Sandy Hook or any of those people, because they also feel that that the human beings don't deserve much of what they get. They need to actually have their lives taken away, which is a tough reality. And it's easy to become swept up in that anger and to feel that no one truly deserves anything. I mean, he even goes into like Leo Tolstoy, who, page 149, at the height of his career, he was also contemplating, and he agreed that that life has no meaning. And even if you go on to page 150 as well, I'm continuing to talk about the meaningless of life and continuing to drag out a life that is evil and meaningless, and you shouldn't do that, and to perhaps even kill yourself to avoid such a sin is almost ludicrous. But it's also a head scratcher, I guess, to consider that life does have meaning. And are we doing that just because it will help us feel better about ourselves? We will have a little bit of satisfaction that what we're doing in this world matters a lot. And then you may hear, oh, we're on an earth of, I guess, 8 billion people now, and there's going to be billions of people ahead of us and billions of people behind us. But so whatever you do truly doesn't matter at all. But I don't know if it's like juvenile or even selfish just to say, no, that's not true. What I am doing does matter. And just so that way we're happy with ourselves, because I think that's truly what we're searching for when we want to find that there's meaning in life, is that we're just allaying other fears and trying to satisfy our current selves and be happy with our current selves. And I mean, I guess Peterson, I think in the next chapter, Peterson may attack it too, about the meaning. But it's hard to say, because I know that there is that element that we want to just satisfy ourselves, thinking that there's meaning in life. And I've struggled with that too. But I think if you act as a good person and you still do good things, I think you would feel so much better as a person. Your life would be a little bit happier than if you were to be nihilistic and cynical of the world. If you learn to forgive, you learn to accept, and you learn to love, and not just love people around you, but you learn to love yourself, and you learn to love other people. And whether that is meaning or not, whether that there's meaning or not in your life, at least you'll feel good. And yeah, I guess that is a little selfish and a little juvenile thinking there, but I think it's necessary. If the world will become a better place, we have to act in accordance with that. So I think you just gotta live your life as the best that you can as a good person. Page 153. Peterson talks about how some kids who were abused by their parents, they don't want to do the same thing to their kids. Actually, a majority of them don't, which I find reassuring. I think that's very good that people can see past the horrors in their past and try to make life a little bit better for the people in front of them, and that essential goodness inside of humanity is still somewhat there. And I have known several people that have had terrible pasts, but they treat their children differently. They don't want their children to have to go through what they did, because inside they know it's morally corrupt and morally not right. And actually that leads me into page 158 just for a little bit. Peterson explains in the end that you can know that something is wrong without knowing the why. You can feel that moral corruption on the inside of yourself, and exactly what you're doing is bad. And you definitely don't feel good after you're doing something bad. It may feel good in the moment, whether that be, something like adultery or something. In the moment, it may feel good and you may understand that it's wrong, but the pleasure is outweighing the moral corruption at this point. However, afterwards and for the rest of your life, I'm sure that moral corruption will overtake everything that you feel. You won't feel good at all, and it will always be on your mind, whether you repent if you're religious or you just simply deal with it. You'll never have a satisfaction with what you did, and that's never a good way to live your life. And Peterson talks about in this short rule how good things happen to bad people, and and bad things happen to good people, and it's very difficult to try to cope with that and deal with that. And we always want to give what people deserve. We want people to have their due, and that's not how the world works, which is unfortunate, no matter how optimistic and hopeful we try to be. But if we can do everything we can to prevent the bad things from happening and to live a good life, at least you're more likely to have good things happen to you. Which is difficult, because I don't think it will ever stop, trying to get your house in order, trying to fix all the things that need to be fixed, because you know that on the inside they're morally wrong, or that they just need to be fixed, and you can't control the other stuff outside of your life. I mean, that's difficult, because I think that problem, oh my goodness, excuse me, I'm so sorry. All of those problems will continue almost forever. I mean, they will continue for the rest of your life. There is going to be these challenges and choices that you have to make every single day. And so it may be hard because the job's never finished, but at least while you're performing the job, you'll know that you're doing the right thing and that you're trying to take the right path. And while you're on that path, I think you're less likely to, run into quicksand. You're less likely to get stuck in the mud with bad things that can happen. And you know what? Sometimes it will. Sometimes it's not just quicksand, but I don't know. Your house, everything may be gone. Everything that you've worked so hard for. And then you can still have those two paths to choose from. You know which one as a good moral person to take, or the one that will help you feel vengeful and happy. even take the John Wick way with this dog, which I'm sure we would all want to do that a little bit for us dog owners, because we love our dogs. They are as much as part of the family as any other member of the family. But it's a decision that we'll have to make in our lifetime, and always. And I'm glad that Peterson says, because he does like to delve into the why, but it's okay if we don't know the why, but we do know what feels good and what feels right. And if we take that path, then others around us will also live a happier, better life. And maybe they don't deserve it at that time, but I think you deserve that for yourself, to feel good about yourself, have respect for yourself, and I think more things good will happen to you if you do so. But that's pretty much the end. Very short video. On to rule 7, which I believe is a bit longer. Pursue what is meaningful, not what is expedient. Again, I guess we're going to learn more about meaning, which I'm very interested in. And I want to learn this because I also struggle with this, trying to find meaning and what exactly do I want to do with my life? You know, what do I want to, when I look back on my deathbed, if I can close my eyes and say, it was good. Well, until next time, take care.